Welcome back to the channel. We're here for another couch session. I'm excited about this. You excited?
I'm very excited.
For those of you who are just popping in, my name is Castell.
My name is Jessica.
That's my wife. And we're the Barneses for all things business, travel, and also relationships. This is your one-stop shop. Let's kick off business. Business is broken out into all things entrepreneurship, corporate, right, for our 9-to-5ers or recent graduates, and then also finance, right? So money as well, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So let's kick that off. So hot topic, give me a hot topic, man. Let's something we can talk about. Let's talk about
hot topic, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just like, might be a little overwhelmed, but we gotta touch on this topic of AI, the impact on AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes. Well,
applicable information.
Yes. Well, let's
alternative something. I don't know what's going on.
Let's start with the facts because we've been reading a lot of
Absolutely.
Goldman Sachs,
a lot of peer reviews.
Lots of great sources out there that are really educating us on the impact of AI and what it's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one stat that stood out to me was that by the end of 2026, about roughly 30,000 jobs are going to be impacted
by AI.
To AI.
Yeah, and when we say impacted, that's either your job is just going to disappear. Companies may do mass layoffs, furloughs, or impacted in a case where a person that used to manage a team now becomes an individual contributor, right? So you're going to see teams shrink. You're going to see roles shrink, right? You might see VPs turn into directors turn into like individual.
ICs?
Yeah, so ICs, which stands for individual contributors, or you may see like just teams just disappear completely or reduced dramatically, right? By 50 to 75%. So
I think there's gonna be a spike on entrepreneurship. It's really going to have people think, what am I gonna do now? Do I tap into my talents? Do I move to another country? Especially because we're very entrepreneurial. I feel like it's gonna be a good thing for people. And I think that the perspective is that we're gonna have to rely on our community and tap into our God-given talent.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing also is just like, if you're watching this, right, there's people are at different stages in their lives, right? So if we're thinking about the journey of a person, right, this is a person who's either in college, just graduated, early career, mid-experience, and then senior. And then there's also the person that may have been impacted by AI already, that's either has the option to become an entrepreneur or is looking to get back in the corporate sphere as it's changing, right? Because AI is changing how we look at everything. Things are being automated, they're being expedited, and human behavior as it pertains to workplace development and functionality is literally being learned based on like AI and its ability, machine learning, right? Based on how you roll out. So I think what I would like to give to our audience and people watching this, if you're watching this right now, is really like give recommendations based on where a person may be in their journey. Fresh out of college, I think what you need to be thinking about is like learning like how to not only understand AI and the language or data lakes and whatnot, but like how can I use AI and be an asset to be the person that knows how to implement AI or either scale AI. I think that's the biggest opportunity. Yes, you're going to use some type of AI platform, right? If it's Claude or ChatGPT to kind of make sure your resume is ATS applicable, and just to make sure you get past like the bots who may be reviewing stuff from the recruitment side, but also thinking about what in your major. Okay, I'm majoring in computer science or biology or real estate development or architecture. Start thinking about like, what are the AI tools out there that will help you be more efficient in your field, right? Not just like the skill set. Like I know how to crunch numbers and I know, what anatomy is, but what are the tools and the different AI tools that's being used that when you come to this like interview, right, as an entry-level person, makes you a candidate that's kind of AI first, because that's what businesses are thinking about now, right? Who can we hire essentially that could come in and help us scale our AI capacities, implement them, but also work more efficient, right? That's the efficiency exercise that we're hearing.
I also want to dive into like the impact that this is going to create for anyone who is in school right now to become a photographer, to become a creative director, how these students might be feeling now, right? You're spending so many years into, you know, building your portfolio to be a successful photographer or creative designer. And now it's like, well, with one little prompt, I can literally create a whole deck with AI. Ooh, like this is difficult because I feel like we're losing some type of our human creativity and we're relying so much on a machine.
But I think when you thinking about like a college student right now is either A, wants to get hired, or B, they want to become an entrepreneur, right? So the biggest thing away from like your major itself is like, if I'm coming out of school and going to school, is like, how do I make money in this, or how do I become valuable as a human in this AI first or AI wrappered or AI powered environment, right? So that's why I want to speak to that person, because this person is probably a junior or a senior and they're like, wait, like, what do you mean like you can code now? Like, what am I doing, right? So I think the biggest thing is giving pointers on like tangible, actionable steps, considering that we're in an AI environment, that can help them be a little bit more competitive in this environment. Let's just say medical field, right? Like say you want to be a nurse or a doctor, right? Or billing and coding or some type of like medicinal. There's AI softwares that comes in whenever I'm having a conversation with one of my, let's just say patients or even employees, it can document all of those notes. And now I don't have to, after that conversation, spend hours on paperwork. I could just like have an AI software that comes in, that's listening to it, that's categorizing all the big pain points, right? With some of like the recommendations or diagnosis. And now that paperwork is categorized, is codified, and it allows me to move on to my next patient instead of spending 2 to 3 hours on post paperwork. It's just so much opportunity. So that's what I'm saying for that college student. Come in and kind of learn like what are the AI tools that's being used within the industry that you're looking to go in, and become an expert in that, because not only would you be valuable because you're able to do the medicinal patient work, right? Or client facing work, but you understand what software is to help everybody as a team. So I think that's key.
I think I've mentioned this before, that AI is really not here to replace who we are, but it's here to improve. This is something that's like, that I can relate to, because back in 2012, right, I was pursuing radio and I saw the shift of social media and how social media took so many of our jobs, like radio jobs, and everyone became a podcaster, everyone became a social media influencer. So there was really no need for radio personalities anymore, because we had so many upcoming influencers and the digital era, right? So this is very, very, very familiar to what I experienced when I was pursuing my career in my early college, you know, years. Something that I would do differently and that I would apply if anyone is, you know, experiencing this AI era, you're still in college, you're still trying to see like, what do I do? Is to just really embrace it and just use it. You know, just use it, embrace it, talk about it. Don't be afraid to read on what we're experiencing. I think that
for sure.
I was a little bit left behind in the digital era because I was afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid to create an, you know, IG account right away. So I think that embracing it is the best way right now. Even if you don't know anything about AI, just embrace it.
I actually love that, because, you know, early in the video, we were talking about giving recommendations for where you are in your career or life. I think that embracing mindset is applicable no matter where you are in your life, right? And that kind of lets us skip things. So it's a AI openness mindset. I love that. And I think also the things that we said is applicable to the college student is also applicable to the person that's going through early career development, experience, may have experienced a layoff as well, as like learning a skill set and being okay that AI is here to stay. Right, like if you think about, like you said, the internet, people thought it was a bubble. Yeah, you're gonna see some bubbles get burst. But coming out of this is like, how do I become the team of 5 as
Yeah.
one person,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do I develop presets and agents and build out workflows, right, through AI, right? And truly understand how AI is being developed, but like, how can it help me be better in my role?
As someone
Mindset is
who
key.
is in tech and I'm in the conversation of all things AI, there is still going to be a need for human element. It might not be a team of 20, it might be a team of 15, it might be a team of,
10.
Probably 10. There is a need for human capacity into all of these things, AI tools that we're utilizing. It's who can use it the best way.
The biggest opportunity right now is who is going to be the person that is able to build out like a suite of AI products that allows from customer acquisition to payroll to outreach to life cycle marketing, email, SMS. Who's going to provide that AI powered or AI product that helps businesses thrive on an SMB level, small to medium sized businesses, all the way to large international enterprises. So that's something to think about as well. Like, if you are nasty with like Claude, right? And OGs might not be at like a bigger, like, you can pitch that, right? So
I'm also thinking that there's an opportunity to pivot into things like, I foresee like construction workers. These folks are about to make a bag, anything in regards to like barbers, hairstylists, like
HVAC.
Things that we're still gonna need some type of
cooling, electricity.
Yes.
Like, that's because if everybody's investing in data centers, like we just saw, I think it was Google and Meta is investing in Dominican Republic, right? Because you need water infrastructure, right? You need a aquatic build out, right, to cool like these data centers. I love that you said that, like the pivot, maybe getting away from white collar and going to historical blue collar jobs.
I was having a conversation with my hairstylist and she was like, and I was telling her, she was like, it might be crazy. I know you're in tech and there's just so much going on with AI. And she was like, well, at least that doesn't impact me because I'm a hairstylist. And I thought about that and I was like, I'm not a hairstylist, but this is an opportunity to invest into hair salons or build a hair salon where I could just get a whole bunch of hairstylists to work for me. I can run the business. I don't necessarily need to be a hairstylist. I can run the business. So things like that had me thinking about like, this might be a time to pivot into blue collar, like you mentioned.
AI is here to stay. Be open to it. Learn the tools of your industry. And then also, if you look up the news as well and see like, what are the industries that will benefit from this AI boom? Right? Oh, okay. Infrastructure, lighting, the things that we see every day. Maybe pivot into those things as an investor or pick up a trade and get out and go work, right? So that's the biggest thing. I think that's kind of applicable across everything.
Or move out of the country.
Which is a segue to our travel segment, right? That was a good little segue.
Yes. That was a little good segue. Because honestly, we have been traveling so much this year.
Lately, we haven't.
And
been able.
Honestly, guys, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Like my husband says, I've been feeling like outside of the US is where it's at. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
But we have been seeing a lot of potential outside of the US.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've been lied to.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a bean.
The more we travel, the more it gives us the opportunity to think and realize that the US, yes, we have a lot of great opportunities here.
Absolutely.
But there are a lot of great countries out there where you can be successful and build a family and have an easy paced life. And,
well, what we would say,
I've
been telling my wife this is, you have to find a way, like the US, I always say, is the best country for opportunity, the entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Right? We've been to countries
where... No
where...
debate on that.
If you're born poor, you poor the rest of your life. The cheat code is, how can I make US money and live in other places,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. So we just came from, we did Hong Kong, which was great. Vietnam, right? So we did Ho Chi Minh City, which historically was Saigon. So pre-war, right? So pre-1970s, it was called Saigon, right? But to the newer generation is Ho Chi Minh City, if you're familiar with the Vietnam War and stuff like that as well. So we did Ho Chi Minh City, so Saigon historically, and then we also did Istanbul. The US gives you a lot of opportunity to make great money. But with that, right, especially at our age, right, you kind of want to be places where your money stretches, right? And I think this is key. And also places like Vietnam, where if I'm successful, I want to feel that in all aspects of my life. And when it comes to respect, treatment.
We have been traveling to all of these incredible countries. And I say incredible because it has given me new perspective on how they view and have, number one, family is at the core of everything that they do. Community, health, you know, and by that, the type of like cuisines and like just healthier habits.
Not processed food.
Not processed food. Just the lifestyle in general, right? Like you can see people just walking early morning. Like for example, Hong Kong was a great example of like people just really taking it one day at a time. And I appreciated the fact that we were so embraced in Hong Kong.
Yeah, they loved us in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was great.
It reminded me a little bit of Seoul, right? It was very commercial, like there was a lot of commercial buildings, but then there were certain parts where it was more traditional, right? We saw a lot of community, we saw a lot of just like elderly people just looking amazing and strong and just glowing and happy. And I don't know, for me, I think that success looks very, and I know we've spoken about this earlier in the year, but success is looking way more different. The more I travel, I'm just like,
this is true.
Wow, is success waking up and feeling happy that you're able to eat a real organic apple, not processed? Or does success mean that I have a beautiful community that I can go to and just have a beautiful conversation with, you know, good coffee?
That's the trade-offs, right? That's the trade-offs of life, because Hong Kong is very capitalistic, right? In nature. Historically, they were once, when we went over there too, like culturally, they were once colonized by the British, and then now they're special administrative region of China. But it's very, like, when you think about main China, and they speak like Mandarin, right? Or if you're from, I think it's Fujian, you speak Fujianese. But over there, they speak Cantonese, and yes, it's of the Chinese people, but you can feel like it's a little bit different, right?
It feels very little bit different,
international. It was very diverse, right? In tourism, right? Which is pretty cool as well. Hong Kong was great, right? I think we was able to see how people operate, even in a commercial site. It was still very much respect people, respect space. We made it over to Vietnam, and Vietnam just blew us away, right? Like
it is amazing, y'all.
It was
Vietnam,
like,
honestly, and respectfully, because y'all know I love Japan. Let me tell you, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam is one of them ones. It is incredible. First of all, as a coffee lover, I have no idea that the coffee culture in Vietnam is top notch. There is so many coffee shops with a clothing store, coffee shops with like a whole lounge. It was just amazing. And it looked like every shop that we went to was just thriving.
This is true.
Thriving. And there was just so much to do, so much to offer, from the food to the shopping. Vietnam is one of them.
So Hong Kong was a little more expensive, right? Because they also, a lot of their money is pegged, right? Like they have the Hong Kong dollar, but it's pegged to like the euro, right, or the pound in some capacity, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of people spoke Cantonese, but pretty much everyone spoke English.
I did notice that the food was inexpensive in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that was one thing. So hospitality and food was cheap, but shopping was expensive.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yes.
So that, I guess that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
But when you went to Vietnam, $1, right? Because we're American. $1 was 26,355, or like it was almost 27,000 of their currency. Rides for $2, which stretched a couple of miles.
Yeah.
It's nuts, right? We did a lot of shopping, right? Which in District 1, different parts of Ho Chi Minh City. A lot of these companies produce their products in Vietnam, right? That we spend $300-400 for, like for a hoodie. Over there, we were getting premium quality stuff for like $30. It's crazy. It's crazy. You US shop.
Yeah.
5-star hotels. It's just a beautiful. Like everyone's trying to get us because there's a huge like American like black community in Da Nang. So DANANG.
It's like the Miami.
Yeah, that they call it.
Of Vietnam.
So I think Vietnam was an eye opener, right? It was hot, it's humid, but it was an eye opener, right? For
sure.
What life can be, but also like this like concept of like what is a third world country, right? Like what does that even mean, right? These days, right? Like if you have all the things I need, amenities, and I'm safe and I have high and low, like it's like what does that even mean?
And again, the people were just very polite, so nice.
Oh, they were great.
They were great. I had box braids and they were just complimenting me.
Yeah, for sure.
They were just
they was like your swag.
Wow, I was just like, so much love. It has really opened my eyes on how we just view the world. Like we need to travel more. We need to get out there.
Africa, we doing an Africa tour. So Africa, stay tuned. We got a lot.
If there are some brands out there, I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm gonna call out all of them, all the airlines. We're here to collaborate and share our experience through the lens of, you know, the Black experience, right?
That's
because it is one of a kind. And I think that our younger generation needs to see that traveling is so fruitful.
Yeah, it is.
And you need those experiences. You need those people perspective on life, right? Because we're so narrowed. All we know is what we see, especially in New York, right? Even though New York is a melting pot, I do feel like New York still has pockets where people just
it's separated.
Talk to their own. Like you got
the
Hispanic community only sticks with the Hispanic community, the Black community. So it's like when you travel, it just gives you so much perspective of like, these people love us. They embrace us.
Yeah, it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love.
It is a beautiful thing to feel.
I think it's also like, I always say like, New York is the best city in the world, right? Like, America is the land of opportunity. You could build, you could come with nothing and build.
I agree.
But then it's also like, at what point is hustle culture a thing of like forever, right? Like, if I get to a point where I'm like making a good living, the lifestyle needs to feel relaxing or like a high intensity forever. Like now they're saying, like we were looking at stats, like people are working into the 80s and 70s. That's crazy.
I also think that America is instilling into this new generation that it's okay to live life on your own. It's okay to be single all the time. It's okay to be independent. It is mind-boggling to think that you're supposed to go through this journey that we call life by yourself.
By yourself, yeah, that's real.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's real.
Because you deserve more.
That's a bar.
But I think that
is that how we segue into
relationships? That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm gonna call you the segue queen. So we're gonna give you 2 points for your segue.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We take pride in being parents. I know you take so much pride in being a father. I take a lot of pride in being a bonus mom.
Yeah, you're crushing it. Crushing it.
It is a beautiful experience. How are you taking this new experience of, hey, my child is about to be a teenager. These are some different years.
And it always comes down to the P's, right? I tell you, the P's of manhood or the P's of parenthood.
Yeah.
It's really like my goal is to make sure you feel protected, provided for, and then this thread of provisioning that just keeps the family pushing forward, right? So when you get to a point where you're raising this human being who once relied on you to survive, to now I'm growing and my hormones and my
and
body's
it's about
changing.
the hair.
It's about the hair, yeah. It's about the hair and beauty, and you also schooling her like, yes, you got hormones, and little boys and little girls are gonna tell you whatever they want to you to build your friendship, or to oh, you a pretty girl that, you know, in my case, my daughter speaks 2 languages fluently, and Kennedy's all the things, right? She's the lead performer and she's a singer, right? So being a beautiful young woman that's smart and usually has the center of attention, it's a protection thing that I'm going
I'll
through.
say this, it's very similar seeing your experience with Kennedy. It reminds me so much of my experience with my dad, because I know Kennedy is in good hands. Because you care so much, you are very present, and you give her that discipline that she needs. And I think I look back and even like certain interactions, I'm like, oh, this is good because she needs this. She needs that male figure that is going to give her the discipline, right? Like not everything could be like kiki ka ka ka. Like I'm here to nurture. We need structure for her. And for any young girl that is growing up, I think it's so needed to have that father figure. And when I see that interaction between you and her, I'm like, oh, this is good, because sometimes I think about like, what if I didn't have my dad without that structure, without that discipline? And I tell you all the time, like, honestly, my dad would be crazy. Like, I remember being Kennedy's age, I used to be like, why is my dad so strict? But now looking into the experience that I went through growing up as a young lady, I'm like, wow, that definitely built my father helped me build character, gave me a lot of discipline that I needed, because I have so much value and respect for myself.
This is real. This is real.
So that I can give other people respect. But it's important.
I'm here because I'm raising a daughter, right? I can't really speak to raising sons, right? But I can speak to now I'm raising like a young woman, right? Who can.
You want to get emotional?
No, not emotional, but like, it's like, yo, you got to be protective, right? Like this is chastity is important. You know, like you want her to make the right decisions, because I always say, Kennedy, I want you to be better than me.
Absolutely.
Right. That's the whole point of like parenting, is for our kids to be better than us.
Absolutely.
Right. Like to pass the torch and you better than me. If I can only count up to 3, you should be able to count up to 6, right? Or count up to 10, right? Like this is the mentality, right? So it's to be, you know, like, how can I set the foundation, but also instill enough self-confidence, not only self-confidence, but build up your self-esteem and guide you in a way where you could literally be better than me. Right. So like, that's the big thing, especially on parenting, thinking about that. So it's interesting because when, you know, Kennedy was younger, as a dad, I wanted to approach her with nurture. I was nurturing her. Right. As I built the businesses. But now it's kind of like a quick switch of like, I don't want to nurture too much to where she becomes spoiled rotten, right? Where she's like, anyway, daddy, you're gonna, you know, discipline me and then give me a hug and whatever I want. But now it's like discipline, right? Like
you're on it.
I'm on it. Like
also, another thing is like, we can't raise our kids how our parents once raised us. Things are very, very, very different now. You know, they're exposed to a lot on social media. The times are different. So I think keeping that in mind is super helpful. Like,
you can control electronics at home.
You saw that belt back in the days. You knew, like, whoop.
Like if your parents just flash the belt, you're like, oh, right? So
zip it up.
I think now even if you control access to information or electronics, there's friends with access to information. So the best thing you can do, and what I've instilled in Kenny, number 1 is be an example, parents, right? So you want to be the example that you practice what you preach, right? Like we know that telling me this and telling me that, say what, practice. Come on, man. Like, y'all don't want me to go Barry White on.
Okay.
But anyway, so practice what you preach. I think number 2 is like giving the alternative. Like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I've seen this is the road that potentially you could go down. And then given the resources and tools to like, for
This is so good.
kids
I
to
mean,
be
I
better
feel like
than
we
you,
could talk
right?
about this
Forever.
forever. However, you guys need
Yeah.
to drop those comments. Let us know
Yeah.
what you want
Yeah.
us to talk into our next episode. And make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe.
Share this episode to your friend, to your friend, to your friend, to your auntie, to your mama, to your grandma.
To your brother, to your sister,
To your brother, to your sister.
Send it to auntie. Send it to your rich auntie. Send it to unc. Right?
Yes.
Send it to everybody.
Yes,
Share
subscribe,
this.
subscribe, subscribe.